Look at this beauty, guys. This is from 1944. Dime Mystery Magazine number 4. Now, every year they would have a different volume for this magazine. It's a pulp magazine. I want you to concentrate on that finger. See the skull on that finger? Now, if you go forward 9 years to 1953, this is Elias's Chamber of Chills number 19. Do a close-up on that sleeve. That's a skull on that sleeve. That is one magnificent cover, but in my opinion, that cover is an homage to Dime Mystery number 4. It's just too blatant, you know. Now, this has been reproduced a ton of times also. I think the latest was Horror Comics number 1, right? I think that was limited. I want to say 200 or 250, so it was less limited than Haha. But I like the Haha cover much better. And yes, I missed out on this cover. But this comic book was gifted to me by the great one, Wilbert. Gifted me this, man. It is magnificent. This will stay in my collection after I slab it. Look at this right here. I thought that was going to be a skull, but that's the Joker. Now, in Wanted Comics, that's why he's purple, and it makes it so much sweeter. Makes you think that maybe that's Harley Quinn before she was Harley Quinn, no? Just saying, you know. What a great, magnificent gift. AoK. Thank you, Wilbert. He also gave me this. Now, this is a book I didn't spec on. Black Cotton number 1. This was one of the variants. But specking on it now. I can't tell you I'm going to keep this one though, Wilbert, but I'm definitely keeping that. Without a doubt. I'm keeping that, and I thank you, my friend. You didn't have to get me anything. None of you do. But I appreciate it, and there's a story behind that too, Wilbert. All right, so there's 2 guys. I've had 3 giveaways here, and I gave my address to 2 of them, and both of them are Wilbert and William. Martinez, I gave them my address, but I never told the wife, right? I never told the wife. I just put my address down on just in case there was a problem with delivery, it would get back to me again, right? But when I received this, I get so many books in the mail, I didn't look to see who it was from. I just opened it and I was like, wait a minute, I didn't get Haha. So I'm looking at it and I noticed it was Wilbert. I'm like, and I laughed. I go, oh my God, and then my wife heard me. She was like, what's going on? I go, oh my God, one of my guys, he just gave me an AoK. She's like, what's that? I go, well, he gifted me some. How did he gift you something? She was like, from YouTube? I said, yeah. She goes, how did he gift you something if you're not putting your address out there? And I said, well, just this one time. Anyway, that turned into a conversation. But anyway, it looks like I'm going to be getting a P.O. box soon, guys. That's what it's looking like. All right. Regardless, thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. And I'm going to have an announcement at the end of this because I do believe in good karma, man. I do believe in good karma, and I'm going to have a little bit of good karma going out at the end of this. Alright, so I wanted to show you guys a couple pickups that I made as well. This is a spec book from 1977. This is a book that I already have, but I saw it in my comic book shop auction last week, and I just couldn't pass it up because it's in high grade. It's a 9.6, 1977 too. Newsstand doesn't matter back then, guys. I mean, I know people put it out like, hey, it's newsstand. Just be mindful. 1986 is the year. Anything pre-1986 is pretty much 50-50. As a matter of fact, the direct becomes less produced than the newsstand in certain years before 1986. But either way, though, it was a beautiful book, and it just went for just over $100. $111 is what I paid for this baby. This is the second appearance of Hector Ayala, Puerto Rican kid out of the Bronx. And when I picked this up ironically, right, from the old man, where I was where I used to see the Chamber of Chills and all these other books that I wish I would have bought back then, but I never did. But I picked this up from him, probably like 30 cents or maybe 35 cents back then. This was in early 1980, 81 or something. But yeah, he had these books for like 30 cents, 25 cents. But as a kid, as you see, I didn't take care of these books. This is probably like a fine plus maybe. But I liked the story because when I was reading it, found out that this was a Latino kid. But the writer, Bill Mantlo, I don't know, back then I think everything was kind of stereotypical. I mean, like, look at this. Carajo, my first day at college is my last. I said, come on, dude. You call him amigo. Hey, amigo. Hey, hombre. I don't mean to come down on you. It's our problem. Like, oh, come on. I don't know. It was really stereotypical back in the day, but I ended up liking the white tiger, and then they changed the white tiger. Says, who is this? The white tiger. His first appearance was Deadly Hands of Kung Fu. This was a magazine, however. So this was his first comic book appearance, and this is more like I had to show this because this is more like Star Wars, right? I'm gonna dive into that in a second. Boba Fett, his first comic book appearance is Star Wars, 42, but his first real appearance, we'll go into that in a second. This one right here is getting out of hand right now, though. Deadly Hands of Kung Fu magazine. This was in 1975, full 2 years before this baby. But this is the value book. This is the value book, even though it's still a spec book because it's not a character that's like known. Very few people know about Hector Ayala. As a matter of fact, they changed the white tiger to a female Asian. But who knows what the future brings. These also came. That is one beautiful cover. I'm going to send these out, and they're going to have special labels. I'm going to do a Silver Surfer. I only got 4 sets though. But I'm going to get a Silver Surfer on half of them and Thor on the other half. And these again are spec books. Okay, again, with moderns, guys, with modern books like these, it's not like you're not gonna retire off of these, but I like the cover, so I'm gonna keep one and I'm gonna sell the rest. This is the trade. Now sometimes I have a hard time with the trade or the version of which one I like. I think I like the Virgin better on that particular one. On the Miles Morales, though, Miles Morales, I like the trade better because you see number 23, Jordan. Yeah, that's getting a special label too. And picked up 4 of these. You know, I just happened to be at the right time on Golden Apple when these came out. I saw them there and I got 2. Then I ended up waiting a little bit and got another 2. Then they sold out. And these, though, these I'm going to slab, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to sell them all. All right, so here's something that's happening right now in comics. Everything, not everything, but a lot of things are going wild, right? A lot of people are buying stuff, and I don't even know if this is being, I don't want to say influenced, but rigged, maybe. You know, just got to be careful on what you're buying out there, guys. Just because you see a book that goes for a certain amount, like say double what it was going the week before, that makes no sense, guys. That makes absolutely 0 sense. That doesn't mean that you got to go out and pay that if you want it. Like, sometimes you got to accept the fact that either you missed the boat or maybe you might be in a better position not making that buy, right? And waiting for things to calm down, settle down, and forget the FOMO, you know, on certain things. You know, there's books out there that you scratch your head and they're like, why the hell is it going up like that? Like, why, even Morales, right? Why is that cover A all of a sudden going for over $2,000 now for that cover A? $2,400, I think. Why? And should you go out and spend $2,400 on that book? Listen, guys, I can only tell you what I'm gonna do. I don't like regulating anything, right? But I would say just be smart with what you're buying. I believe that Ultimate Fallout number 4 is a grail, but that doesn't mean that you should overpay for it today. You know, you shouldn't. I know I missed the boat on it, so, and I'm not going after it. All right, there's another book I wanted to talk to you guys about. All right, so here's something funny that I saw the other day. This just finished, $530, 8 bids on this thing. That's the seller, Bad Girl Comic Art, and she put down like really funny stuff. Look, Stan Lee right on the newsstand, MJ, MJ and Todd McCharden. And then she puts down over here, you get the exact book pictured. It's signed by creator Todd McCharden. It's the ultimate newsstand edition. It has 80% more barcode. These were produced in very limited number because normal people realized the shops were better place to enjoy comic books, and barcodes are disgusting and to look at, but you're a moron, so buy it. PayPal and Magic Beans only, please. fine print. This is not an actual book. This is a gag listing. If you bid on this or you buy the auction item, you understand that no physical book will be shipped. You are only buying the ethereal essence of barcodes, or the theoretical idea of newsstand editions. I get the point. I think differently of newsstands, but you know, some of the books that are getting bought right now that are all-time highs, and then all of a sudden in a week they double that all-time high. It makes absolutely no sense. You guys have to really think about what you're doing and where you're putting your money, because a lot of the stuff that's selling right now is going to crash. Some of that stuff that's selling right now may not really even be real sales. It may be scam artists that are trying to inflate the price of that particular book or genre of books. But you have to be just be smart, guys. Just be smart. What I do is, I know it's cliche, is invest in what you like, but that is one good way of investing in comics. It's one of a decent number of ways to do it, but that doesn't mean, like, if I like, say, a Spawn #1 newsstand, let's say, that I'm going to go out and pay 3 times what it was worth last week. I'm not going to do that. You got to be smart with it, you know. All right, you take a book like this. All right, so I'm going to credit Great Expectations, and it's Great Expectation Comics on YouTube. I want you guys to check him out, okay? He's got a book there I've never seen ever in my life. Only 100 of these books exist, and he happened to get one. It prompted me to go out and buy 3 of these in the poly bag. Spider-Man, all new Spider-Man #1, right? The second appearance of Miles Morales. I did not get lucky. So what happens is that, and I'm gonna have the link underneath this this video also for you guys to check that out, to check his video out. But and please check it out, because you've never seen this book, and this might just be, even though it's his second appearance, this may be the most expensive book of Miles Morales, in my opinion, besides the newsstand #1, okay? Because there's only 100 of the books that he shows. It's a book that's signed by Stan Lee. He only signed 100 of them in the poly bag, so you don't know what you're getting. Only 13 have been graded by CGC, but you can only get it in that poly bag. And who knows? Like, I've never seen one except for his video. And the back of the book is also different. It has a certificate of authenticity, and CGC will grade it in a SS label as well, yellow label, signature series, without anybody being present, because there was like an agreement done with CGC, and when that book got printed. All right, let's look at another book, but please check them out. Great Expectation Comics. Check that out, man. It is, you won't be disappointed. Okay, guys, if you go after these poly bags, don't overpay for the books, because in the poly bag you're not going to see the condition of the book, right? And this is a black border, so every little defect is going to show on it, and more than likely See, the special book, first of all, you gotta, it's like hitting the lottery. Over 80,000 books printed, and only 100 of them are gonna be signed by Stan Lee. But you're gonna have like little nicks on that you're not, you're not gonna be able to see because they're inside the poly bags. Now, if you are so lucky and you hit the lottery and you get one of those books, though, it's going to be protected by a sleeve of that book, of the actual cover, like that also. So it's almost like a double cover, but it's not going to be stapled, right? So that gives you some protection. But these will need to be pressed, and now they just become, spec books. If I end up getting a 9.8, I'll keep it. But I might sell these. But don't overpay for these, okay? Because you don't know what you're going to get, and chances that you get something that's signed by Lee is very, very slim. I mean, one of 87,000. It'll be less than that because it's 100. But yeah, I didn't look out, and I'm done, because like I'm done buying them unless I can get them for like $50 a poly bag, which I don't know if you're going to be able to find it like that. Maybe in a convention or in a flea market. You can get it for less. But if I bought something like this for like $50, I'll take a shot at it, because at worst you get it graded and you can still sell the book. It's still his second appearance when all is said and done. All right, so we're going to go into the next book. Next book is, this is going into the Keeper Project. You've seen this book before. This is Marvel Super Special Magazine number 16. This is the first appearance of Boba Fett. Now, I've been watching, because now people are starting to cover this book, and I've been watching other people, other YouTubers. Some people are saying that this is also the first appearance of Lando and the first appearance of Yoda. I'm going to take this out now. We're going to find out. These guys might just be right. This is something that I missed. This might just be the first Lando. Lando. Don't tell me you recognize me. Yeah, this might be the first Lando. There's Lando right there. And this right here might just be the first Yoda. This is when he lands on that planet. And there's Yoda right there. We're being watched. You feel like what? Like what? Like we're being watched? That's Yoda. So maybe it is. I do know this is the first Boba Fett. But if that is true, that this is the first Yoda and the first Lando and the first Boba Fett, then this book, my friends, is exactly where this is at, which is the value tier. All right, so I'm going to be investing in 3 different tiers, and I'm going to go into that in the investment chat that I'm going to have. But this is the value tier. I bought this raw, obviously, and I do have a 9.6 of this already, which I bought dirt cheap, man. I bought that dirt cheap. I paid more for this raw book than I did for that 9.6. Almost double. All right. Super Special, bought that for $266.56. Now, the 9.4 Forever People, that cost me $576.31. Now, the prices that I'm putting here for the purchase price, that includes taxes and shipping to me. Okay, that's all included. So obviously the 9.4, unless I decide to get it re-slabbed, right? Which I don't think I will. Not that one. I don't believe so. We'll see. Um, but it'll probably stay at that price, purchase price. And the super special, I'm definitely getting this baby slabbed. So then there'll be more fees associated with this one. But this will be the third book now into the Keeper project. And of course we have our growth tier book, which is Something's Killing the Children, the foil frizzen cover. That one was $218.58. All right, but this one, see this? When I saw the pictures, this is the only thing about buying from eBay. I have to depend on pictures, but the pictures, they're pretty nice. They were pretty accurate. They were pretty accurate. I think that you know, pictures were hiding a little bit of that, but I think Mr. Kendra can do wonders with this baby. This will definitely be in the 9s, possibly in the high 9s. I can definitely see this a minimum of 9.4. I think these books, you don't see many of them with that black cover, that black back like that. Most of that that black back is discolored in most of these books. And look how bright, how dark that is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm very, very happy with this book. So we'll see what happens with that, and I'll show you the surprise that I have. All right, so thanks to you guys, I am now speccing on Magic the Gathering. This is the first comic book based on Magic the Gathering. Bought 10 of these, and surprisingly all 10 of them came in beautiful condition. I might have them all slabbed. At least half of them will be slabbed, only because I want to keep them in pristine condition. And if I send them out, I'll be sending them out as pre-screens. You see how many come back at 9.8s. So this, I don't know how long of a wait I'm going to have with this, or if it's ever even going to pan out, really, right? I really don't know. I mean, there's supposed to be a show coming out with Magic the Gathering, but or been optioned or something, but I don't know if this is going to be a spec book that is going to hit. I don't know. Obviously, I'm hoping that it will, and I know that this has a huge fan base, so if something does happen in media with this, this should be a very interesting book to have. This comes with a card also in the back. I'm going to put in a card holder when I take it out of the bag. Here's a book that I spec'd on when it first came out. I believe this was 2006. I'm almost positive it was 2006. When this came out, I went to my comic shop and I said, I am a huge Halo fan, man. Big time. Halo got me back into video games. Got me to buy the Xbox console. Actually, my wife bought it for me, and I spent hours upon hours just playing this game. So when I heard that the Master Chief was going to be making his comic book debut, I needed to have it, and in a big way, because this is like that. This has a cult following. This has a big following. Halo, the Master Chief. All right. So my comic shop said they're not going to carry it. I went to a different comic shop and they weren't going to carry it. So I'm like, how the hell do I get this book? And I found out it was going to be a graphic novel. But when you bought the graphic novel, you got this, a preview. See that? I bought these online. I bought these from toywiz.com back in the day with the graphic novels. This is a book that is going to be super, super hard to find. I can't even find a print run on these. What I do know is that I went heavy on it, kind of like I did with the Blue Marvels. You see that? The only thing is that I kept these in a short box. Even though I didn't bag and board them, they're all in pristine condition. There's 3 bundles, 3 smaller bundles that have something of a bend to them because of the way that I had them stored, but they are not creased. They can be, that's just a bag, guys. That's just a bag. I've checked these out big time. But these 3 bags, more so the first the top ones, but these right here need pressings. But with the pressings, I know I'm gonna get a high number of 9.8. It's over 30. First appearance of the Master Chief. And Paramount, I saw this on Key Collector. I was going through Key Collector again. Just use these things for just for information, guys. Doesn't mean that you're gonna go in there and you're gonna buy every book. It's the wrong thing to do. All right. But I saw this in and this was one of the books that was up on the top of the it wasn't the Hot 20. It was like I guess a new list that they had. So I went on eBay to check them out, and I saw they're going for pretty decent money, $40 for a raw, and $300 for a 9.8. And then now there's one 9.8 that they're asking $900 for. But I mean, they are going to be rare though, even though I got a whole bunch of them. But these will be rare because comic book shops, at least where I lived, weren't carrying them. So let me open one of these up. Yep, this was 2006. Marvel, Bungie, Microsoft. All right, let's go here. Try not to bend that. Elites. And here's the Chief. So Paramount is supposed to have a series with the Master Chief. I don't know if it comes out this year or next year, but I think they're working on it now. It might just be, I don't know if it's finished yet, but yeah, it's gonna headline the Paramount app. So this might be a really good book to spec on. I've held this book since 2006, and that's what it is. That's the spec game, guys. That's the spec game. You put it in a short box, hope for the best, and now you know it's looking like it might hit. We'll see. This is still a spec book, but it's a little bit better than the spec book because of the character. The character is an established character, not in comics. but he's established in video games, and he is a hallmark. He's the standard of a shooter. He has become like that. Halo has become the standard for shooters. When it first came out, it revolutionized the shooter genre. You know, much like Marathon did for Halo. You know, but almost all shooters now are resembling Halo, which resembled Marathon. But this guy right here can transcend his genre, his video game genre, and as a first comic book appearance, listen, He-Man wasn't a comic book character. He was a cartoon character, and look what happened to He-Man's books, or what's happening to Thundercats books. And I mean, it's a good book to spec on. So here is what I had to say before. All right. Good karma, guys. Good karma. Wilbert. Ha ha. Well, karma's shooting back at you guys, because I am going to give one of these 30-something, but not raws. I'm going to get one of these in a 9.8, and I'm going to give it out to the community. We're going to definitely do another giveaway. Look, Venom 26, that's not going to pan out. As a matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to give you guys the choice. I'll give you guys the choice. Venom 26 or this book. Which one do you guys prefer as a giveaway? Venom 26 or the Halo preview in a 9.8? In a 9.8. The Venom 26 is a 1 in 50. I would choose this one, because this one has a lot more spec value. At least the character, this guy in for video games. I don't think it gets better than that. Does it get better than that? I don't know, man. I don't think it does. I like this game better than Diablo or God of War. You know, that's a good one too. But I like the Master Chief better. I do. Alright. I think that's all I got. Oh, one last thing. These came in. Radiant Blacks. Bought 3 of these. Got all 3. I bought 5 of these. I got refunded. Got refunded for 3 of them. I only received 2. Awful, man. Awful. But it was fair. This is limited to 200 only. It's a reprint of number 1. But because of that limited, I think it becomes something that the fan base of this character go after, and they've been going after it. It's a $300 book. I was gonna keep 1 if I got 5, but now, listen, I am gonna lose a lot of money on Berserker. I expect to lose a lot on Berserker. All because it was delayed. Berserker would have been a massive hit, but it was delayed, and that delay, and by the way too, because Something's Killing the Children is going to be delayed, there's a 1 in 50 for Something's Killing the Children for number 16. Don't go after it. Do not go after that. That has a hiatus as well, and I got a feeling that Boom is going to get really creative with that one, as well as they did with Berserker. I'm pretty sure they're going to have a ton of covers for that. Oh, look at the back of this too, man. The back of this is beautiful. Let me take it out so you guys can see it. I never got into Invincible, but every time I go into like blogs for this, people are passionate about Invincible. I can't wait to see the show that they're going to be doing for Amazon, but the price for the #1 is way out of my league right now. So I should have bought it when it was in the $900 range. It was even $700 at one point, but not anymore. Not anymore. So I got 2 of those that are gonna get sold, and then the Radiant Blacks. Radiant Blacks I might keep, man. I might keep those. Did I get refunded for one of the Radiant? No, I think I got all 3. And then the Walking Dead #7. This is limited to 200. And this will get sold because I gotta make my money back from, and this is what happens, right? So some of these specs are gonna pay for the bad specs. I don't think that Berserker was a bad spec. Yes, in retrospect, now you can say it's a bad spec, but back then that was not a bad spec. No one knew that book was gonna take 6 months for it to come out. If that would have been the case, I would have never went after it. But that's the problem with investing with moderns, and that's why I don't want you guys getting involved so much with moderns, especially not with the expensive variants and stuff like that. A lot of times it's better off just, if you lose money on a say a book like this, where I paid like $5 or whatever it is for each book, right? You lose $5, but now you spend $50 on a book. This was actually a pretty expensive spec. That's a $75 book, right? $75, but it's already graded and it's limited. So even though it was more expensive, it's a better spec because of the fact that it's limited, right? And because of the character, right? This one, $75, but the character's not known. It's a little bit more of a riskier spec, but it is limited also, 240 copies for a character that might be something. All right, guys, so lastly, when you spec on a book, now this is going to have a media outlet pretty soon, right? It's going to have a series coming out very soon, and people are specking on this character. But this character is already established. This character already has a big fan base, right? It's not a bad spec to go after some of the key issues for this run. Don't necessarily think that the #1, I mean, would I go after it? I would not, because I'm not a big fan. If I was, maybe I would, but the character is an established character. It's different going after something that, like, his true #1 than say an Agatha Harkness that was never really, I mean, how big of a character was she in comics? How many stories do you know about her that make you spend the type of money that she's commanding right now? The White Vision didn't even last, okay? So why is it commanding over $1,000 for that book, for the White Vision? It's one thing to go after the Vision's first appearance. The White Vision commanding over $1,000. Think about that. That is a bad decision, in my opinion. Again, I don't want to regulate the medium. You shouldn't. We shouldn't regulate the medium. You want to go out and you spend $1,000 on a book, that's up to you. But if I am talking to somebody that I care about, I'm going to say to you, hey, do you really like the character? One, do you see that character having a big following? You know, you talk about a guy like Mephisto. Does Mephisto have a big following? In my opinion, no, he doesn't. I don't think that Mephisto has a ton of fans. Now, his first appearance, Silver Surfer #3, is it a great cover? Yes, that's a great cover. But how many stories do you know of Mephisto that he's been on that are great stories, great storylines? How many do you know? Now, I know a few that he's been a focal part of, but it's not a character that I've said, I need to have that character. I need to have that. Now, Mephisto's been on a lot better stories than a guy like Kang. Okay? I have no idea what people see in Kang. I think it's mainly the book, because the book is a Silver Age book. It's an early Avengers comic. I don't by any means think that that's a great cover, all right? But there's people that have gotten behind that book, but I think that a lot of that is driven by the people that actually have the book. I have this book. And what did I say to you about it? I got it in a pretty high grade, 9.4. I hate the cover. It's a stupid cover. Okay? Look at that cover. That's horrible. I'm telling you the truth. If I wanted to sell it, I would tell you, hey, look how great the colors are on this cover. And it's 15 cents. It's bullcrap, man. That's a shit cover. But that's the first appearance of Darkseid, okay? That is the first full Darkseid. I do like Jimmy Olsen 134 a lot better, all right? But I'm not going to tell you, oh, you got to go out and buy this book. You don't have to go out and buy that book. I don't want you to go out and buy that book. Like, not if you don't feel like it, right? A lot of times people get influenced by influencers that don't have your best thoughts in their mind. They're thinking about, okay, I got this many books to move, and boom, the new Avengers. Oh, so many first appearances. Well, which ones matter of those first appearances? Think about that. Wiccan, it's a crap character. Hulkling, crap character, right? I can't think of any character in there that I even like. Now, does that mean that Disney's not going to make those characters good at one point? They might. I mean, Blade was not a character that was a great character, but then when he came out, and it wasn't Disney that brought him out, but when he came out in a movie, they made him a badass character. So that's a character that they turned around, right? But you take a guy like Iron Fist, and Netflix just destroyed that character. The value of that book went down. Might be a good idea to invest in that book, by the way, because that is a character that does have, I don't think he has a great big following, but I think he has a smaller following, and I am going about after that book, and that book will land in one of these lists, by the way. All right, but just think about what you guys are investing in. Just think about it, guys. I'm trying to think of the guy from the Avengers, the Russian guy that's going to be in the Black Widow. The Guardian, right? Who's the Guardian? All right. What book, what storyline do you remember that guy? Who has he ever fought that you remember him fighting? That was a great fight. Why go after that character other than the fact that it's an early Avengers issue? Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Again, I'm not trying to regulate the medium. You like the character, you go after it. I didn't. I hate the Sentry, but he's got a huge following. I hate it. I have the Sentry #1, and I bought it specifically for that following. I bought Invincible specifically for that following because I know this guy's got a ton of fans, right? But you gotta have a purpose for buying a book, right? Just don't go crazy and spending your money that you have for your rent or for food or whatever, and now you got no money to get yourself a good lunch or a good dinner. All right, because depending on what you're buying, it might not pan out the way you think it will. Just think about what you're buying. Be smarter with it. Think about the characters, and what that specific book does for you to warrant the investment that you're putting into that book. I don't know. I'm a little tired here, so I might not even be making sense. But anyway, guys, this one now goes into the Keeper Project. And with the Keeper Project, I'm going to be selling some of the Keeper projects. And I call it Keeper because I think these books are keepers. Yeah, that's it. This has been a really long book. It is like a book. A long video. I hope you guys stuck around for it. We shall talk.